At the main fire station in downtown Lake Oswego, a drop-in COVID vaccination clinic is underway. No need to register, no need to live anywhere around here. It's open to anyone who wants the Johnson & Johnson shot. Inside, firefighter Leah Gordon waits to give that shot, but it's been very quiet. Pop-up vaccination clinics like this one are going to become more the normal thing instead of the big vaccination sites that we've seen so far. But it's also a sign of the times. Things are slowing down significantly. This one's been open for an hour. 5 people have shown up, and nobody since we got here. Assistant Fire Chief David Morris said the clinic was a last-minute idea pushed on social media with the hope of serving those who make spontaneous decisions.
For some people, scheduling doesn't work for them. They have a lifestyle or businesses or personal lifestyle that does not allow them to schedule something. So this gives them an opportunity to, yeah, I'm available and I'm coming in today.
His team will be at Lake Ridge Middle School tomorrow and every Wednesday through June from noon till 7 p.m. with more doses for anyone who shows up. President Biden has set a goal of 70% of American adults getting at least one shot by the 4th of July. Washington State launched its vaccine lottery to give people an extra reason to get the shot and picked its first $250,000 winner today. We won't know who won for several days. Kaiser Permanente is also joining the incentive game in all its territories across the country. Wendy Watson is the Chief Operating Officer of Kaiser Permanente Northwest.
I'm excited we're part of this last sprint to get to 70%.
Kaiser will pick 1,000 winners in early July. They could win a variety of prizes from family trips to wellness retreats, gym memberships, and more. The names will come from its pool of members who got vaccinated or non-members who got shots at the Kaiser sites in several states, including everyone at the Oregon Convention Center. Did you say anyone who got a shot at the convention center is automatically enrolled in this sweepstakes?
That is correct, yes.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
It is. We have vaccinated just shy of 300,000 people at the Oregon Convention Center. So all of those people will be automatically entered into this immunity sweepstakes.
Oregon has its own incentives, offering $1 million statewide jackpot for one lucky person who gets the COVID shot, and each county is offering a $10,000 prize. The drawing is June 28th. So far, it's not brought a surge of new vaccinations. All the incentives we're talking about are aimed at new people, but they also include everyone who got the shot from last December on. Good luck. Pat Dooris, KGW News.